You ever look at really successful people and wonder, what's their secret? You know, what separates them from everybody else? It's not just luck, it's definitely not just talent. Well, today, we're going to dig into the one powerful force that really drives success, and I'll show you how you can build it using something you probably already have lying around your house.
So, let's just get right to it. What is the real engine of success? I mean, if you strip away all the noise, what's the one thing that really truly pushes you forward? Is it just grinding harder, being smarter than the next person? The source we're looking at says it's actually something a lot more powerful.
It's momentum. That's it, that one word. It's that invisible force that just makes everything feel a little bit easier. You know, when you're in the flow, that's momentum. But what does that really mean? How does it work?
Okay, let's really break this down. We throw the word momentum around all the time, right? But the actual mechanics behind it, well, that's where the magic is.
See, momentum isn't about one big heroic effort. It's about the small, continuous things that build on each other. It's a compounding effect. Think about it. Studying for just 1 hour might not feel like a huge deal. But what about studying for an hour every single day? Suddenly, those hours start to stack up, they multiply, and before you know it, you're crushing your exams. That's momentum in action.
What I love about this is how simple it is. It's a chain reaction. You put in the continuous effort, that effort starts to compound on itself, and that leads to these massive results that seem way bigger than the tiny steps you took to get there. It's not addition, it's multiplication.
All right, but here's the catch. Now that we know how powerful momentum is, you have to understand just how incredibly fragile it can be. Because losing it is so much more expensive than you think, especially when you're just starting out.
This right here is such a crucial idea. Every single time you stumble or make a mistake, you don't just stop moving forward. You actually have to spend precious time and energy just to get back to where you were before you can even think about making progress again. You're literally just trying to get back to zero. And this business analogy just hits the nail on the head. When you're in the early stages of life or a career, think of your 20s and 30s. You are a startup. You have very little momentum. You absolutely cannot afford to be inefficient. Every move has to be precise because you need huge profit margins on your effort just to see any growth. This is that critical window where you have the physical endurance to build something huge, but you don't have a big team to fall back on. You can't just absorb big mistakes like a giant corporation can. You have to be ruthlessly efficient.
So if momentum is this vital, powerful, but super fragile thing, especially in those early years, how in the world do you protect it? Well, the answer isn't about working yourself to the bone. It's about working smarter. It's about strategy.
I want you to really let this sink in. Strategy isn't some aggressive tool for attacking your goals. Think of it as a shield. Its number one job is to help you sidestep those stupid, costly mistakes that kill your momentum and force you to waste energy just playing catch-up. A good strategy is basically momentum's personal bodyguard.
And this brings us to a really cool idea. What if you could practice this kind of strategic thinking? You know, hone your skills in a place where the stakes are low, so you're ready for the high-stakes game of life.
This is where things like strategy games, think chess, Go, you name it, come in. They aren't just a way to kill time. According to our source, they are powerful life simulators. Every single game is a chance for you to practice your decision-making, to see consequences play out, and to learn from failure without any real-world damage.
So here's how it works. When you're facing a tough problem at work or in life, you don't just pull a perfect solution out of thin air, right? You rely on your past experiences. You look for patterns. Well, strategy games are like a training ground that rapidly builds your library of experiences. A tough spot in a game, maybe you're low on resources or you're facing a surprise attack, that becomes a mental analogy you can pull from later to navigate a real-world business problem. You're not just playing a game, you're building the mental frameworks you'll use to protect your real-life momentum.
So let's bring this all home. We've got strategy, which protects your momentum, and we've got games, which build your strategy. But what's the whole point? What is the one resource that this is all designed to protect?
And there it is. The ultimate prize is time. We build momentum to protect our time because it is the one thing that even the wealthiest, most powerful person on the planet cannot buy back. Every mistake you avoid, every bit of momentum you preserve, it's all in service of guarding this incredibly finite resource. And remember, that critical window to build massive momentum, your 20s, 30s, early 40s when your physical endurance is at its peak, that window is short. You just don't have time to burn on inefficiency.
That number, it says everything, doesn't it?
Zero. That's how much lost time you can ever get back. This is exactly why being strategic isn't just a nice-to-have skill. It is an absolute necessity if you want to make the most of the time you've got.
So, as we wrap this up, the real question isn't just what you learned today, it's about what you're going to do with it. When you think about your life, your goals, where you want to go, what is your next strategic move to protect your time and build your momentum?